Welcome to the Madison Parks meeting today. I officially call the meeting to order. First, we're going to go for an approval of the minutes from December.
You want me to make a motion, or are you making the motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from our December meeting.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Minutes approved. Our claims have already been signed by the Board of Public Works because they needed to be paid. Oh, there are some for us? Oh. Oh, geez, I didn't see this. I'm going to come back to that later, so we have a little bit of time to glance at it before we sign it. Fund report, okay, and then our next little packet or whatever is what the Board of Public Works has already signed for us because bills that needed to be paid. Some of those were from December, and then because we did not meet in January, we had like electricity and things like that that needed to be paid from January. So Board of Public Works took care of that for us. New business. We need to elect our officers for 2025. Does anyone have someone they want to nominate for an office?
So we got to make a motion to nominate?
I think we do.
I make a motion to nominate Carla Krebs president.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Jake, will you be vice if I am not?
I guess.
I move for Jake Shockley to be vice president of the Park Commission.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Excellent. 2025 Jefferson County Soccer Association lease. Is Mr. Shockley been here today? Okay. Would you like to, we are offering him the same deal that we did last year for leasing our soccer fields at the Rucker Sports Complex. We take care of, I think, the mowing. Okay, he mows. All right. And he also leases or rents the concession stand from us and pays a small cleaning fee at the end of the year for that. So we'll get him to sign that, I guess, on his time since he's not here.
I've spoken with him recently, and he didn't raise any concerns. So.
Okay. Did you have
Do you
anything,
have
Tanya,
any?
to share about that contract? Or-
It's the same as last year.
Okay.
I know last year they had outside vendors, like,
They bring in like the flavored ice and stuff like that.
and I know that they were parked in the, like, driving through the grass. I don't know what was worked out between, with that, I don't know the contract, but just something to be aware of.
I thought it said they couldn't bring any other vendors in without permission, so. Probably just didn't enforce that.
Well, maybe when he comes in to sign the contract, we could just remind him of that clause. Because, yeah, we definitely don't want people driving on the grass or on the fields or anything else. Okay, our next one is our Riverview Campground hosts. We have a contract with, and Tanya's going to introduce them to us.
Yes, we've got Les and Natalie Hook. If you guys would like to come up to the podium, please, and just share a little bit about yourself.
Is that what this is?
If you push the little button on the microphone, it will turn on.
If it turns bright red on the tip here like mine is, then it's on. There you go. There you go.
We're glad to get started with you guys. We have done the camp hosting for many years and really enjoyed it. So we're looking forward to it and hanging out down there by the river.
Les
Seeing all the
has worked for
festivals.
us the last couple years mowing greens at the golf course, so he's been around a while. Does a great job.
The fact that I know Christian, don't hold that against me, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think Christian's very happy with us for
No.
moving you to the campground, actually. He was a little vocal about that.
But it's great to be on board.
So they'll be at the campground last week of March, and then opening day is April 1st.
Okay.
4th? Okay, April 4th.
But we'll be there
The-
the first.
Yes.
And that's no April Fool's.
And are you Madison people, like, you've lived here?
Originally from North Vernon.
Okay,
Yeah, my dad was a Cummins employee, so I'm a Cummins brat, and
okay.
he was a farmer, so. Yeah.
Any questions? We've worked from North Carolina to Washington State, Texas, Arizona, and a lot of different places.
No, your work ethic comes highly recommended.
Oh, well, lovely. Well, come see us. Yes, if you come down, always remind me who you are, because I'll ask you 100 times.
No problem. Thank you for being here today. Okay, so now we're going to hear the reports from the different people on our park team. We're going to start with our operations report from Tanya Burnett.
So the next piece of paper you have after that contract is the income from the campground so far. So in January and the first few days of February, really, we've brought in $70,897. So great start. That did exceed last year's numbers. And introducing Les and Natalie was the only other thing I had for the campground. The next thing I have here is from the mayor, and that is the temporary transfer repayment plan. And the back page of that is this blue sheet. Back page of that lays out the plan to pay back the deficit from the end of last year. That has been, Carla, do you want to
Yeah, I
take
can-
in? They haven't passed it yet, but it was,
Right, so we proposed this at our city council meeting last night. We have 3 general areas that we're going to take money from to pay off our debt. We have the city general fund, the parks general fund, and then other sources. So from our general fund of the city, we have a salary and benefits section where we had allotted for so many people to be hired, and it ended up, we didn't need that many. So we were able to take 4 salaries and those benefits temporarily back, and we told that department if they need it in the future, we'll work with you, but right now they did not. We also had quite a few funds, about 15, that over the years, whenever we get a grant with the city, we have to set up a special fund, and that money goes into that grant. And then when you pay for things, then it comes directly from there. Well, at the end, you might have $40 left over or $100 left over, and your job is complete. And when they write those ordinances to create those funds, it always says when this fund is not being used anymore, the money is reverted back to the city general fund. So we went through and we found, I think it was 12 or 15 some of the balances were zero even. And so we closed all those funds because they're no longer in use and reverted the money back to the general fund. So we came up with about $20,000 in those that we're able to use, and those are from the city general fund. From the Parks Department, we were able to, we did eliminate 2 positions, so we had 2 salaries to use there, totaling $75,000. We had some miscellaneous, we are getting new golf carts, and so we were able to trade in our old ones and get some cash for that. We also were able to reduce the number of golf carts that we were going to lease. And also, Roger Gallatin was able to renegotiate and get the GPSs taken off, which also saved us money. So all of that together brought in $40,000. And then also the campground, because we had already taken in $70,000, we put $50,000 of the campground toward our debt. So the Parks Department was able to come up with $150,000 approximately to pay toward the debt. And then the outside sources is, we had a chunk of money that, it was $1 million that we had set aside to invest into our water department project. And we are asking if we can use only the interest drawn, because as soon as we knew we had to do that, and we put our money up, we put it in an interest-bearing account, so we've asked permission from the state, can we use our interest? So that's one thing we're gonna try to do, and then, TSO pilot, I don't remember what that was exactly. So anyway, this is online, underneath the, city council packet, if you would like to look at it closer, but we have figured out from these three funds how to pay back our loan before June of this year. So that's a huge relief to us. And we are thankful for the brains behind that project.
Yes, and it did not impede on the park's operating budget much, at all. So we'll be able to operate at our budgeted and planned level to make sure all of our programs and runs as it was intended. So we're thankful for that. The next thing you have there in your packet is a Rec Technologies service agreement. This had already been signed at the end of last year to implement new software to take the place of our current rec desk, which is very hard to set up and not real user-friendly. The public has a hard time registering for programs. Whitney will share more about that. I'll ask her to share because she's been the lead on a lot of that, but it will simplify a lot of what we do. And it also combines two different softwares that we use, and will all be in one. So we'll have one system for payment processing, and our programs that people pay for and register online will all be on the same reports as our concessions and our admissions and all of that stuff. So it will simplify a lot of things for us. That was already done, so I just wanted you guys to see that. And it was $8,000 a year, which we had to pay. Oh, how much was Rec Desk? We were already paying for software that, four.
We were paying for?
We were paying for, but then we were also paying for hardware and software to run the point-of-sale system, and this replaces both.
We had spent $7,000 on iPads, adding machines, computers to run the old one. And I think we were told in December that it was only going to be about $1,200 more dollars.
For a better system.
Correct. So we
Let's
were,
hope it's better.
yes.
Whitney will share more on
Okay.
that when she comes and shares, because it really is.
The big thing about our new software is that it's more user-friendly for people who are signing up online. We can use the cards at Crystal Beach like we had asked for 2 years ago. They even told us, and they better tell us the truth, that like if I'm a mom who's sending my kid to the pool and I want to put money on a card but not give them cash, I can put money on my card and they can go to the concession stand and use that too.
It doesn't even have to be a card, it can be your phone. Like, there's an app you download and they can use their phone, just like Apple Pay, or it connects to all that.
But we'll be able to incorporate everything that we do finally in one system, which is what we had requested originally, but didn't happen.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes.
It says the effective date's December 10th, 2024. Was it paid for in '24, or is it going to be paid
No.
for in '25?
It's going to be paid for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if there was a down payment made. Do you remember, Kim? A deposit?
I don't see anything that mentions a deposit or payment schedule.
In the new ones that they're getting ready to approve?
Either that or the one I'm working on right now.
Okay. I think right now we're getting ready to pay $2,500 for the first deposit.
Okay.
Okay, are you done?
So, yeah, and before we move into the others, I just want to thank the rest of the team and these guys that are going to share, because everyone's pulled together to divide up responsibilities and get things done. And we've worked very well together and just really appreciate them. Just wanted to say publicly thank you for all the hard work they're doing to fill in gaps, because they're doing a great job. They might not always be here at meetings, but I thought it'd be nice for you guys to see who they are doing these things, and get to know who they are if you don't already know them. So I asked them to come tonight and share their reports. And Jake's going to cover for Roger, who is
Got a little
on
mini-
vacation right now.
Yeah, we got a mini report from Roger Gallatin today, and then I think Christian's going to go after me too, so you can fill in any gaps. But so the total revenue actually for 2025 was $584,379 and change, and so revenues actually was it up, slightly up actually from last year. Our operations deficit total is actually for the year is just it's $59,000 in the whole, 59,219 and 79 cents. So the selling of the passes at a quote unquote discounted rate actually did help us in the month of December, because we were, as everybody saw in the paper in November, we were at 130K deficit, and the sales of the passes went really well. So it really broke into that chunk a little bit. And so really we were about the same amount of a deficit, I think, as we were in 2023. So as far as like where the golf course is operating, it's sort of status quo. Of course, we're always trying to break even just to make sure that it's sustainable, but it's a lot better than it used to be. We're still, with the Parks Board and the Golf Board, still working to try to make, 1 cent just to keep it operational. I know the golf course is a lot of times an easy scapegoat for the parks, but I don't think the golf course is as big of a hindrance as a lot of people like to think it is. The golf carts, as was already mentioned, Roger just wanted to make sure, and Christian and the team at Sunrise wanted to make sure that the golf course was doing its part to help make up the deficit as much as possible. So like she said, it reduced the new fleet from 60 to 45, and the GPS were eliminated. And then there was the actual figure was $39,000 that we were able to get back from the old fleet. And then we also, which wasn't mentioned, we also canceled a new electric upgrade to cart barn storage, which also is going to save us $75,000 in the future. There's also been proposed, I'm not sure if it's legal yet, you will have to fill that in. We want to reduce the daily rates from 49, that's already been approved, to 45. So I don't know if we can do that today or if that's going to have to be tabled for another month. What's that?
It's in your packet to look at.
Okay.
Can't be approved till the next meeting.
Okay.
She-
right.
Kim's going to advertise it 10 days
All right.
in advance.
All right, so Bob, if you want to float that out there too. So, so we want to reduce it to 49 to 45 to make sure that it's commensurate with other comparables across this part of the state, and that should put us more in line. It was 49 originally because we had to talk the previous Parks Board director down from a previous figure. So 49 was a good compromise at the time, but we think 45 will be a little bit better for us with some other rates too, and trying to get some league play, which hopefully will help the revenue too. Our league play is a little weaker compared to many golf courses. So I think between the golf board and Roger, we're trying to improve our weekly league play. So hopefully the public can see some opportunities for league play coming up and having a little bit more fun and fellowship on the golf course a little bit. There are 17 outings currently scheduled for the 2025 golf season. We'd like to improve that number some. Those are good revenue generators. And the First Tee Junior Camp has been released for marketing promotion, so hopefully anybody interested in the First Tee program will be able to see some advertisements for that soon. Christian?
The only thing I would add to that is that we were able to work with an auction house, for lack of better terms, that specializes in golf equipment, and we unloaded a lot of old equipment that we've had sitting around for years. And I think collectively we've got around 5,000 for that. So we got rid of some stuff to help add to the deficit.
Better than nothing.
So that was really the only thing I needed to add from what we talked about.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let me go ahead.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to report on a couple of items at Sunrise that are in the works. And I know previously through, I believe it was a grant through Well, we contracted with a golf course design and architects to come up with a new design for the golf course and irrigation system. Well, in light of what has happened, we've talked with, Tony and I have been able to talk with the architect, and a long story short, he did most of his design work, and bidding was going to be based on a new golf course. Well, we really kind of need to go back to basics and get to what we actually need. So we were able to use what he's done and asked him to, I guess, revitalize whatever we want, to just basically to replace the golf course as it is. So the irrigation project would just be no holes moved. It would be just replacing what we have and updating our system. We're currently in the works with that. We'll have a new design, all the specifications we need, and a bid from 2 different contractors that specialize in landscape or golf course irrigation. And I would highly recommend to go in that direction with them. They do that for a living. But that's kind of an update on it. We went off on one tangent, but we brought it back into kind of more focalized what we want to talk about with it, just an irrigation system.
Kristen, can you give us maybe just some roundabout numbers to how much money or time we spent on the current irrigation system this past year?
I think monetary-wise, we were around the $12,000 to $15,000 range as far as parts. Labor, I can't put a number on it. From probably mid-September until the end of growing season, we were watering 5 fairways by hand. And that's manually, not with a hose, but manually turning on valves. And I would do that. I did that every morning. We manually water greens. There's just a lot of labor involved in it. The system itself, I found leaks that have been leaking there for years and that we fixed, but that sometimes tends to add down the line further a little bit. So you fix one and it just adds down the line a little bit. And it's to a point, sometimes I can't find one. There's a couple of them I can't find. And I know they're leaking, but I can't find them. And I don't know if they're a spring. But that's kind of the challenges we're running into. But it's dated.
Yeah.
It's still working though, so I don't want to. And I think the numbers that they've kicked around as far as replacement were somewhere in the $3 million range.
I think the important part of that story is that you were able to renegotiate that irrigation system and downsize it to what we actually needed, and it was already paid for. Like, it's not costing us anything to
Yes.
get the
And that was
plans.
Bethany Circle, that's what I was trying to think of, is that all came through a grant through Bethany Circle. So that, and the architects that we're dealing with, they're really, they're top notch. They've been very cooperative with us, and they understand what's going on. They've been here 3 or 4 times. They know Sunrise Golf Course, so it's kind of a pet project for him at this point. He's on board with it and willing to see it through and help us however we need. And we should have those within a couple of weeks. We should have the information we need. So maybe by the next meeting, you'll be able to see some design and numbers.
All right, let's talk dugouts.
Okay. I just submitted this morning, I think, to get on the agenda for the Historic Board of Review for, I think there's a sketch somewhere in there.
Mhm.
It's just going to be a simple dugout, 2 dugout covers for John Paul Park. Metal post, metal roof, and a wood bench.
So we're working to get John Paul Park ready for adult softball. The men's league and the church league will have t-ball at Kiwanis, so we have to get that ready, and then also Rucker. And Whitney will talk a little more about that. But as far as getting those ready for play, we need dugouts at John Paul Park.
There's concrete slabs there now that are new, but there's no cover, no structure over top of them. There's a fence in front of them, so most of the work is done. The only other major thing that will be done, we'll need to address a backstop at some point. There's no backstop, it's netting, and it's kind of temporary. And this is all being done in the thoughts of hopefully a few years down the road, there'll be pretty sizable renovation at John Paul Park. We've been working through drawings and working with some architects and some folks with the Daughters of the American Revolution. So we're trying to work through them, and hopefully, I don't want to say this is temporary, but we'll see.
How'd you get this project?
We asked him.
Okay. Okay.
The dugouts won't be a big deal. We can get them.
Now, the
they won't be
concrete's
approved.
probably, the concrete's already there, and that was probably the bigger deal, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was done last year. The biggest problem with John Paul is getting on it. It's just when it's not frozen and it's not dry, it's wet.
Yeah.
But we should be able to work, that shouldn't affect the dugouts anyway. We should be okay with those. But I won't be able to be approved. They won't be approved until the next meeting of the Board of Public Works. And I think that was somewhere in 1st of February. The end of February, I'm sorry. So hopefully 1st of March, we can get going on them and get them done.
What did you estimate? You think $1,000 each still?
Per dugout,
Yeah, per dugout. That's us doing the
2,000
work.
total.
2 to 3, depending on, it's basically lumber prices and steel prices right now. They're not crazy, but it's elevated.
Okay,
Make it worse.
thank you, Christian.
Might want to jump on it as quickly as possible if prices rise.
Okay, athletic programs and adult wellness report. Miss Whitney.
Introduce yourselves. I don't know if everybody knows. Do you guys all know Whitney? And
I'm Whitney Birdzalowskis, the athletic program manager. So did you guys have any more questions about the new software rec?
tell them how wonderful it is.
Well, it's very innovative and is up with modern technology. So what I like about it the most is that originally we were thinking about the pool and making things easy for people to register for classes and use their passes to get into the pool. But this program also will help for program registration for baseball, all of our youth sports, any camps that we do, any programs that our department offers. It will all be in one space. And it is just going to be as easy as they scan their digital wallet when they come into the pool, and whatever passes that they have, they'll just pick that one to use. It also in the future will be compatible. They're working on a campground component, so hopefully one day we'll be able to integrate that. So it also has really great targeted email and SMS notifications. So right now we struggle with being able to send out notifications to the parents on a specific roster or a whole group that meets a certain criteria if we need to get a hold of them. The only way we can do that now is via calling them and sending out an email and hoping that they check the email. So if there's a weather cancellation or delay, or if I need to announce a change of field, it's just really been a challenge to get a hold of them. Swim lessons have been the biggest problem because we have early morning swim lessons and we can't get a hold of those parents. It's like we find out that we have to shut down the pool at 8 o'clock and we have 9 o'clock swim lessons coming in. And so that's always been a real struggle of having to go through and call 100 parents. So I really like the targeted marketing aspect of that, so we can identify the demographic we want to reach out to, let them know that if they played baseball or softball in the past, we have baseball, softball registrations popping up in the next couple weeks, register here, so they'll get emails for that, and it will make it easier on our marketing department to get that information out. It has the integrated POS system, so they are the merchant, so we don't have to use a third party. And it has a really great wait list notification system. So if you're on the wait list for a program, it will if somebody cancels, it will automatically let you know that you're next on the wait list and you have 24 hours or whatever we give it permission to do to register for the class and get in and off of the wait list. And then it would go on to this next person. As of now, we have to somebody cancels, they have to cancel through us, they have to call in the office, and then Kim has to issue them a refund, and she has to call the next person on the list. So it takes a lot of manpower work out of it. So it's just modern and up to date and something that we definitely need. And I also like how it has the direct hyperlinks to each program. So right now it's a little bit more of a challenge when I'm trying to communicate with marketing what the link to a program is. I kind of have to outsmart the system a little bit to get them the direct link. It doesn't filter out very well. So that is rec. Any questions?
It also includes, sorry, didn't mean to be so loud. It also includes our facility rentals. So if people want to rent Hunter Hall or
Yeah, it has
the senior
add-ons, so
center
they'll be
or-
able to pick add-ons. And so as we grow our facility rental options, we will be able to get those add-on, if you want to add on picnic tables or trash cans, or if we are doing it at Hunter Hall, if we want to eventually be able to add on more opportunities for them, we can do that. So we had a great conversation with them this week and kind of told them like what our dream is, and then even some things that we're trying to look ahead. So even if we don't need those pieces built out right now, we want them to know that they will be coming. All right, so then moving on to our athletic youth programs. So we are about to release our registration forms, the paper registration forms for baseball and softball. It's already available online, but the forms are being updated this week. And so those will go out to school probably early next week. We're doing things a little bit different this year. So we are bringing back T-ball. So Boys and Girls Club is not having it. We had it 2 years ago before I started. And then last year, the Boys and Girls Club wanted it back, so we gave it back to them, and we are taking it back over this year. So we're really excited about that. And then last year we had a really successful coach pitch league. We had 7 teams registered for that, so we're looking forward to that as well. And then our minor league, we're hoping and expecting to be able to field 2 to 3 teams for the girls and boys. We know that is going to be a longer road to rebuild our minor and major league program. We lost a lot of those kids a while back, and my goal is to build this from the grassroots back up, starting with T-ball and coach pitch, and take care of them in these years, and they will stick with us for minor and major league moving forward. So our initial goal is to be able to field a few teams for minor league, so that they'll be able to play each other. And then we have talked about putting together a travel team within those groups that would go play local towns such as Switzerland County, Milan, Aurora, trying to keep it within a 45-minute range for those parents that are available to travel. So any questions about baseball and softball?
I would just recommend getting that information out ASAP.
Yes, we are working on it, and we had to make a few edits to the registration form. Hannah did send out a press release about all of this like early last week, so that has gone out. And yeah, my hope is to get them to the schools Monday and Tuesday.
I'm around a lot of kids that age, either through my son or, coaching junior sports. And I would say, and not that we're in direct competition with our, neighbors to the west, but we are a little bit. And right now they're sort of monopolized our Little League system when it comes to baseball and softball. So I think our best opportunity will be to beat them to the punch on the messaging.
Yes, and I will say that we did try that approach last year.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what I found out was that it didn't really affect the younger kids, but the older kids, there was a direct correlation between where they've been going and where they're going to continue to go. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just a big fan of like taking care of those younger kids and those parents and getting, being okay with the fact that we can't magically make the minor and major league program as hardy as Hanover's, but I do think that we put together a good program and we're good to the parents, and they will stick with us for years to come.
I think it's a sound strategy, but also, like I said, just knowing a lot of the families in that age group. A lot of times they're just asking like, how many signed up?
Yep.
And I think I just feel like they're just kind of waiting for the other people to make the move before they come back. You know, they don't want to come back to,
Well,
one team with 12 kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so this year, for knowing that that's going to happen with Major League, what we are proactively doing is we're not having an actual league for the 11 to 13-year-olds. Instead, we're going to do an instructional skills practice. The kids that signed up for Major League last year, mostly baseball, but also the Major League softball team, they don't have the skills. They haven't been playing baseball and softball for a long time, and then the parents sign them up, and they don't have the skills to actually go and play Switzerland County or Milan. They did, and it was rough, but so those age groups, I think that it's important to teach them the fundamentals, and because they still don't know those. I know that we're not going to have a full roster for the 11 to 13-year-old age group. We tried to force it last year, and I think we're just a few years out. But I feel good about the minor league, and I feel really good about T-ball and coach pitch. But I don't want those parents that are waiting to see how many kids are going to sign up for Major League before they sign up, because I am almost confident that we wouldn't have enough to make a Major League team. So instead, I want those kids that want to play baseball or softball to come out and to learn the game and to practice. We have a great couple coaches lined up that will teach them the right skills, so if they want to continue on, they can, or they at least have the competency to be able to play with their friends at school and learn a sport that they can use for the rest of their lives.
I'm not trying to grill you, I'm sorry. Can you
No,
share,
go
can you share who the coaches are?
So Mike Watson is going to be helping out a lot, and PJ Guyman is going to be helping out a lot with the softball team. Do you know Mike?
I don't know Mike, but I know PJ is.
Okay. So, Mike is great. He does a lot with Pope John. He's coached their basketball teams. He coached at the junior high football for a while. He's great with the kids. He has a remarkable way of getting them to respect him and to learn a sport and to learn it the correct way, so that if they do want to go on and play in middle school or high school, they will have the skills that they need and understand how to communicate with their coaches and their teammates, but still have some fun. So I'm very excited for him to be a part of our program. And that will open me up to be able to be more involved at Crystal Beach. So I will be handling all of the organizational and administrative components of baseball and softball, but I'm going to be relying on some key coaches to get things done on the fields. So, and I am also trying to schedule games with the Southeastern Indiana baseball and softball group. So we did that a little bit last year, like I mentioned. Our minor and major league kids weren't quite up to the same skill level as those teams, but we're going to start those practices a little bit earlier this year, because they start playing games in April, and we don't actually start practices for that age group until April 21st. So it'll be a little bit behind, but I think it's a good opportunity for them to get out there and play some other teams. And even when our program becomes huge again, I still want to be able to put forth a travel team to go play these nearby towns, because even though we have the potential to have 400 to 500 kids sign up for our program, not every small town does. And I think it would just be a great asset to those neighboring towns to be able to travel around and give them some competition. So that's my end goal. Have both.
Good.
Have a league and have a travel team. And when I say travel, I'm not talking about like the Mudcats. Like, I'm talking about another rec league travel team that's a little more low-key. Any more questions about that?
I do. I'm sorry. I'm
Go
so
for it.
sorry. So I'm just kind of curious what your concern was with the with the outside vendors on the soccer field?
I don't have a concern. I just know that I didn't know that they were going to be there, and I wasn't involved in those conversations. And they drive on the grass, and so it's fine if it's dry, but if it's wet. So I don't really have a concern per se. I just want to make sure that we have a clear communication with them as to whether or not it's allowed or not.
Christian, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
There's been a couple instances where vendors come in and drove across the soccer field to go park on the other side to set up shop, and they got buried in the middle of the field.
All right.
But there's no need for.
Well, we need to make sure Brian's just kind of taking care of that. I mean,
It's in the lease, number 14, I think, mentions grounds,
keep the-
ground repair.
Yeah, so these are the things, there's nothing in there about outside vendors. We've got, the ones that are, you could maybe relate are make any physical changes to the facility without the consent of the lessor. I mean, that's probably talking about permanent changes, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of vague language. Agrees to establish and enforce a rain-wet grounds policy for practices and games. Keep the facility, including its buildings and grounds, clean and in good repair. That's 14. And then 15, the second part of 15, the leasee agrees to cooperate with lessor in maintaining the facility in good playing condition. So I can see how the outside vendors can affect some of those rules. Right, so we just need to,
And
Make sure Brian-
this is a tangent. I think it would be something we should probably explore, whether we want to include outside vendors at all of our youth sports events, and whether that's an opportunity that will help us or hurt us. So,
I think we do need to discuss it, right? Is it taking money from our concessions?
yeah.
But at the same time, it's something that, our general public likes. I know the kids love going up there and get Kona Ice after a soccer game, so, I don't know, we need to discuss
Right.
what that looks like.
And I know at Crystal Beach, we have the slushies and we now have the milkshakes. So our concession offerings are growing, but it is fun for the kids to be able to go grab something exciting and the parents to get their specialty coffee and whatnot. So just wanted to, I think it's worth a discussion.
Well, think about it.
Okay. Let's see. So adult wellness. So we had launched our adult wellness program in November. It's kind of in its infantile stages, but right now we're doing 3 classes at Hunter Hall during the week, so we're utilizing that space at lunchtime for classes. And we have about 15 people that come in and out of those classes. It's growing every week. So we haven't done a huge marketing campaign for it, but with word of mouth and people really enjoying it, I think it's growing at an appropriate rate, especially we don't have like a full set of equipment to handle a lot of people yet. And then there's a lot of people that come to those classes that will also be coming to water aerobics and all utilizing the pool. So I'm excited to be able to merge those two together as the weather improves. And we have more plans for the adult wellness program, but we're trying to not bite off more than we can chew at the current moment. So we just don't have the staff to add too much more at the moment. Any questions about adult wellness? Okay. Crystal Beach. So where are we at with that? So Spear comes out April 29th and 30th to start prepping us for water, and they'll probably start putting water in the pool, de-winterizing. I am set next week to go to a lifeguard instructor course in Zionsville. Once that's completed, we will start advertising our lifeguard certification program and doing a hiring fair. We've also been in contact with previous lifeguards and concession staff to see who wants to come back. And everything there seems to be going as planned. We're all stocked up on chemicals, and we know we have Spear helping us get through this opening, so that's excellent. Any questions about Crystal Beach? We're hoping that the new rec software we won't be selling passes for water aerobics or anything until that is launched. There's no reason to sell them any earlier because unlike the past where we've had people sign up for water aerobics and we only had, say, 50 spots, this year we are not doing any limited number of spots. So there's no competition for them to like try to get into a class early. Even when we sell out at 50 slots, we only will have 20 to 25 people show up to one particular class since we offer it every single day. So I think that will make a lot of our water exercise enthusiasts happy, that they don't have to fight for a slot. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to invite Brett Ricketts to come and give us the update on the senior center and the movies in the park.
Hi, I'm Brett Ricketts. I've been the senior center coordinator for the past 6 months. And currently, we have a variety of things going on at the senior center. We offer bingo. Today we had crafts this afternoon. And actually this morning we had a new blind and visually impaired support group. They came in and there were 9 people that came in for that. So we're trying to get that out to the public because they met for the first time in December. And then with the cold and the weather in January, they didn't meet because we were closed for a week. So if you know anyone, let them know about that. We also have line dancing going on. They play cards twice a week. We have congregation meals twice a week. We do day trips once a month. Next Wednesday, we're going to be going to the Columbus Bowling Center. And I have like 11 signed up for that. Any other
I
questions?
did give them newsletters. They're up
Mhm.
there. I usually just give them a newsletter for whatever month
Okay.
we're on that have all the activities. And what do you think? There's probably an average of 25 people in and out of there per day with
Yeah,
the different
especially-
activities.
Yeah, especially on the busy days. Like today, I had 6 for crafts. We had 9 for the blind and visually impaired support group. And then we had out-of-towners that come in. We have that happen quite a bit too, where people from out of town will stop in and just ask about the community or want to see, like today, a woman and her husband stopped in and they're from Brookville and she just wanted to see our senior center and she was really impressed with it because she volunteers at their senior center. So we have a lot of people that just stop in and want to check things out.
It's a vibrant, fun place to be over there.
Yeah,
So,
they play pool. We have 3 ping pong tables now. So I'd like in the future to do like a ping pong tournament, citywide. I have other ideas like that too, so.
Remind me how many days a week you're open and the hours.
Well, we're open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4.
Okay.
Brett's brand new to community events. He's going to be taking over that. I'll be helping him through the year, get his feet under him and know what all we do for that. We did just get the contract approved for movies in the park, so I included that in your packet just so you could see it. All those contracts currently go through our Board of Public Works and Safety meetings, but I wanted you guys to see copies of everything that we get approved through them, so that's in there. But I'll be working with him real close on community events.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Brett. We wanted to share that our wonderful Crystal Beach was featured on the front of a magazine recently, and our very own Hannah Mahoney in our communications department wrote the article. The magazine is entitled World Water Park, so anyway, it was nice that we were the featured on the cover. They did a really nice article, and we did post that to our city social media website. If you follow us on Follow the City. And now we need to talk about claims, because I wasn't prepared earlier.
We do need to go back to those contracts too. I don't think,
Which contracts?
did we,
Action item, soccer and campground hosts, we didn't do a vote.
Oh, I see. Well, since
We did
Sockle,
for the
we're just saying that we're going to offer the contract, right? Because he's not here to sign it, so, for Sockleven. We're just,
Normally, we approve
We approve it and sign it and get it to him.
Okay,
Sign it, yeah, and then it goes to the clerk treasurer.
okay. Well, I would move that we extend the renewed soccer contract to the Jefferson County Soccer Association.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And also, I would move that we would extend our campground host's job to our wonderful new friends that we met tonight, and that could be wrapped up and officially signed and offered to them.
That's one sign, two of them, so.
Are there two different contracts? It's just one, right?
One for the campground and one for the
Okay,
soccer,
yeah.
So we probably
I should have
need a
done them
motion
at the
to
same time.
approve those two.
Thank you, I couldn't find that in mine. All right, so I'll make a separate move, because I should have done them at both at the same time. I move to also extend the campground contract as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so claims. We have 3 pages. I would like to know on the first page, $649, that's just our regular gas bill from CenterPoint, is that correct? It's about the 5th thing down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This, Kim.
And is that like a normal gas bill for the winter?
Brown Jim's really high,
And that's just the Brown Gym, correct?
that's just 1 month.
Okay. And then on page 3, $2,903.74. We had to have something fixed on the heating and cooling. Was that at the Brown Gym also?
Yeah,
The heat went out.
Went out,
Okay.
yes.
Our Brown Gym is going to turn
100,
100 years old in a couple of weeks.
February 27th.
So there are repairs periodically on a 100-year-old building.
I'm not sure
Anything
the
else?
boiler is 100 years old, but it's very old.
What exactly does the Midland Paper Company provide us with the park janitorial supplies?
Toilet
Paper
paper,
towels.
paper towels, soap,
Trash bag.
trash bags.
So that was $1,000 last month?
We-
We do for all.
That's for all of our facilities, and then
Is that a monthly fee, though, that we're going to, every month, we're spending $1,000 on toilet paper and
it's
paper
just
towels,
as we
basically?
order.
Just as we order, but toilet paper, we usually do that like every couple of months.
Okay.
Because it's for Rucker Senior Center Golf Course, it's for
Bicentennial, Comfort Station.
But
not
it-
City Hall, but Brown Gym.
So how often do we have to restock?
That would be a. like-
Mr. Cosby? How often do you think we need to buy the stuff? And next order of toilet paper, paper towels, and all that?
I say every 3 weeks, because, and it depends on the festivals too.
Sure.
You know, Comfort Station goes through a lot of toilet paper and paper towels, even though there's hand blowers there. You know, because I clean Comfort Station, and when I come in at 5:30 in the morning, there'll be paper towels and toilet papers poured out. They actually break the dispensers, and they just pour it all out. So when I come in, it's all over the floor, so then I have to go back and get a whole new stock of stuff to redo it.
So you think once a month?
Yeah, about once a month. And
Okay.
Like I said, it depends on the festivals that's going on.
Okay.
So we
We
spend-
do bill festivals, though, when they use Brown Gym or even Crystal Beach restrooms. Like, we do an inventory before and after, and most of the major big festivals that use those facilities, we do invoice them. Now, the Comfort Station's different, but
So I'd be curious to see our janitorial budget. Just, could you look that up for us? Not right this very second, but, do we budget $12,000, $15,000 a year just for janitorial supplies?
I'll look.
Okay.
Let you know.
We use campground and Lorenz Park too.
Okay.
So there was talk that we were going to relinquish control of the Comfort Station.
We did as far as the facility. The maintenance of that facility, so streets have taken over that, but it's still in the parks budget to provide those products, and then
Why?
also right now the cleaning.
Why?
Could you
I'm not
ask that
sure
for us?
because it's in our budget, so I am going to have that conversation with Chris and Mindy, actually Friday, to iron out some of those details. Right now, both of us are,
We shouldn't be paying for it if,
well, if we're not going to pay for it, we'll have to move money in the budget that was budgeted for those products to them. But
Okay. All right, so we want to make sure also that our clerk treasurer is aware that if we don't have an updated, that we're very leery after what happened to us last year about signing any kind of claims without knowing exactly how much we have in our budget. So I will do it this one time, and Jake has also stated that he will only do it one time. We always want to know that we're in the positive before we agree to pay money. We're a little gun shy. All right, so I will move that we accept the claims as presented under the condition that we will have a report from now on before we do this.
begrudgingly seconded.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. All those opposed? All right. Is there anything else? Is there anybody from the public that would like to come to the podium and address the park board for any reason or comment? Okay, thank you for being here. Jake, would you like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Went through that kind of quick.